Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? I hope all is well. And you know, the title of this video is going to be about leaving education, working as a school professional, and figuring out that after some years of doing so, I feel like God is transitioning me to something else. And so this is just a way for me to document just my feelings, and articulate just how I feel about everything, because honestly, I've been feeling like what's that SZA said, feeling like Joe when he lost his and in that also talking about, like, when God is trying to take you to new seasons of your life, it's like he has to detox you of the old seasons and the past to be able to bring in the newness, right? But that process of doing so, it's a lot that comes with it. And I feel like sometimes, I don't know, social media can make everything look so like cutesy and just, I don't know, but it ain't all that sometimes. Sometimes it's, a lot of words that I don't like to speak over myself, which is also another sidetrack to that. And y'all, look, I got a little bit of ADHD, so look, because one, I've been very silent about a lot of things for a long time, so trying to compartmentalize like years worth of things that have happened, which I know this isn't just going to be a one-time video type situation, but this is kind of just an intro, okay, as we are documenting just, again, not being a school professional anymore, And so let me start by saying this, going back to, well, I didn't finish the first point of what I was saying about like compartmentalizing like my words, and just even being, that's something else in this season that God's been working on me with, has been like, just being very mindful of like the language that I use to describe things, because I don't want this to seem like I'm downing schools and things of that nature, because at the end of the day, a lot of people in these positions are really doing the best they can with what they got, but at the same time, it's more so a just reflection of, I feel like, society as a whole. And I think that sometimes when people are not, directly in these schools, or they're not really like, there's a big detachment when it comes to like the generations, is what I have seen, okay? And sometimes what I realize is like, it don't always be the kids that's the problem. Sometimes it's the adults in the situation. And even in that, again, we still have to have grace, because when you think about some of these people that are doing things, again, they have limited resources. And, now I'm talking more so now. When you have people in certain positions that are, I guess you could consider like, the higher ups, or the people that are making decisions when it comes to funding, and these schools getting certain things they need, these organizations that are working in these schools trying to get what they need, and it becomes like a game of politics and foolishness, and who's who, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. And honestly, my brain can't process it, okay? My brain can't process it sometimes. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And, let the chips fall where they may. Okay? So this might be a couple of parts. I'm going to kind of really just tell y'all my raw thoughts and how it's been since I've been in a state now where, when you're in the schools, it's like you don't want to say certain things because you don't want to ruffle feathers, or you don't want to, like, I don't know, it's just different. But when you're out of that, when you don't have any ties to anything, now I feel like I can basically say, you know, some of the stuff that these counselors, these teachers, these people, again, these school professionals that are working in the schools, you know, I can say the things that they probably want to say but can't because, you know, they're afraid to, you know, tick off the higher ups or make people upset, and it could cost them, you know, their job type thing. Because honestly, and I think that can, I guess, be with any type of job, you know, or any, not even just jobs, like if you're in certain organizations or in groups of people where it's like, I think sometimes it's easier to kind of fade into the background. And I say that because there's one thing about, like, okay, being outspoken, right? A lot of times people will say, like, oh, speak your mind, do this, do that, right? But then when you actually start to do so and you start challenging the ideologies and the, I guess, climate of like that environment that you're in, and if things have been, or people have been doing things for a long time a certain way, right? A lot of times people, you gonna get pushback, okay? You gonna get pushback. And, you know, I'm up for a challenge, even though, you know, I be asking God, like, you know, can we have the challenges a little limited? Because, like I said, I'm feeling like Job when he, you know, there's a lot happening. But, you know, I recognize that these conversations are necessary. And I also feel like it's just to bring awareness, because I feel like when you are not in those environments, and a lot of people, again, are running around always talking about how bad this new generation is, or how, you know, whatever the case may be, like how, like with the schools, but they're not taking into account, you know, the day-to-day things that all of these people have to deal with to even just make it through the day. So yeah, you know, it's important for me to talk about this. It's important for us to, like, one, stop blaming everything on the schools, and we have to make sure that we're educating ourselves outside of the schools, because I know that's why I feel like a lot of teachers and a lot of people that are in these positions end up leaving because they feel like they can't really make the change that they want to. They're having to teach certain curriculums. You know, they're trying to fit in all of this stuff. And, you know, most of the time, about 40 minutes or so, you know. And along with, I feel like things that, like, as a millennial in our generation and above, you know, I feel like there's like a whole nother level of distractions, I guess you could say, because of social media, because of that being a factor now that, you know, our generation just didn't have to worry about. Because, you know, like the Facebook, all of that stuff, I feel like I was like a senior, maybe. Lord, don't quote me on that. But when all of that stuff started to become really active, so now, you know, kids' attention spans are like this. So, but they're so smart to where it's like, you know, it's a double entendre, I guess you could say, for lack of better terms. Okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just like, because they have so much access